me.
I got to Best Buy, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna buy a game. And I was looking, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on Biomutant because we were talking about it. You know, we've seen people in the comments discussing that they wanted us to play some games so they could hear our thoughts on the games, and we've been, you know, kind of like what that dude Anthony G been talking. We've been penny pinching, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just, instead of waiting to, you know, to hear everything or besides whatever I've heard, I'm gonna just go ahead and buy the game so I can play it myself and see exactly how it is. I managed to get like a price match on it, and then I got like a little deal. Shouts out to Melissa because she effed up a little bit, so I got a little bit better of a deal.
She punched in the numbers wrong.
But so anyways, I played it, and I played it for about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay,
I got a good amount of time. I was up to like 12, you know, playing it or whatever.
got it
on Friday
afternoon,
night.
and you went into after midnight, huh?
Yeah. So, it's I've got a lot of things to say about it, and to sit there and, you know, throw out what I heard before from people. I'll try to start with the good, and I'll try to make it. We've been talking about games for a good minute, and we got to get to the topic, so I won't go too long on it. But the good on it is that I still want to play it.
Okay.
In some shape or form. I still want to play.
So it's pulling a bit on you to play it.
Yeah, okay. So I like the atmosphere, the environment, you know, the lush green forest with the beaches nearby and all of this stuff. They have kind of sections that you go to. Like, your map is pretty much dark. So it's a fairly big map. But the sections that they open up for you, or that you can kind of see that you can go to, there's a lot going on. You know, there's like little areas that would be like hub zones or whatever. So you go into the zone, and you pass a lot of lush stuff on the way, and it's like, damn, it would be cool if there was little hidden things here and there, but it's okay because you get to like the hub area, and then you'll see like, oh, you know, discovered a new location, and then a list will pop up on the left side of your screen that'll tell you everything that's hidden there. So now it makes me want to go and find all of that stuff. So there's a superb loot here. There's an awesome chest here. There's a gloob glob or something like that that's there, or whatever. So now I know, as long as I stay within this general vicinity, I can find everything that's on this map. And once I find it, boom, it grays out. So it lights up white, and then it just grays out every time you find each piece. And it gives you like a 1 out of 2, 2 out of 4, whatever. How many you found, 2 out of 2, you know what I mean? So you know, like, okay. And then once you get the last piece, it says area completed. So that's cool. That keeps you like, oh, let me search this area, or I ran by it. Oh, let me stop from where I was headed. Let me search over here,
it's like
find
Assassin's
everything
Creed
as I move off.
Like
Yeah,
Valhalla a bit. Yeah,
right. That like the areas. It just has a lot of stuff in the city.
You kind of see what you're near.
Everything that's
see what you're near. I will stop by and grab that or whatever. Yeah.
Right. So as far as
the combat
how
goes, fun is it?
So melee and guns, two totally different worlds. You also have like abilities that you can use. So using the abilities, I found like some of them are kind of like trash because of the aiming. So instead of using your left trigger to aim down your sights and use your gun to shoot in a normal shooter, you basically just use your right thumbstick to kind of aim in the direction where you want to shoot it at. The crosshairs do move, you know, as you're aiming, but you're also looking.
There's no aiming down sights.
So yes, there's no aiming down sights.
But you actually weird. Okay.
So you're using your right thumbstick to
like
decide where you want
movie?
to shoot. Yeah. It's
Weird.
just
So
the
it's not
rectangle is
just- it's
moving,
not
but you're
just in the
also
center of the
controlling
screen?
your camera as well. And no, sometimes you know it'll target something that's a little off or whatever. But you know, because it's got like a kind of like an
that?
auto look. No, I don't like that
doesn't sound
because
like I would like it
because of
either.
the fact that I'm so used to holding the left trigger and then aiming,
And it just
so I
stays on
get
the
a
center of the
precise
screen.
aim.
Yeah, and it just stays on the center of the screen. You just move it around.
Right.
Yeah.
So with this, you could be facing the direction of like 3 enemies. You want to hit the big boss, but it's aiming at the small one. Or you have to move it a little bit more to aim at the
That's
big boss.
bizarre.
And sometimes you won't hit because, you know,
it
the
third
guns
person?
aren't accurate. Yeah, it's third person. So the guns aren't accurate. So you can't like
I heard they aren't accurate.
you know,
yeah, I heard that.
it'll just like the bullets, you'll see the bullets kind of
Right.
spray off.
Right.
So even if you're aiming down the middle, it'll still shoot off random shots
Right.
left and right, and you might hit something else
It's
or
like a
whatever.
scatter shot of something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes like there's like a point where you fight like one like mini boss or something like that, and he's in a room and you've got like 4 guys that are in there, and then you've got a guy up in a tower, and you try to shoot the guy in the tower, but your gun is not accurate. Like my gun was
That's
just
annoying.
not
That
accurate.
is
I
so
could not
annoying.
shoot it.
That's so annoying,
and
bro.
then it took a couple of shots. So I
That's
just
really
like
annoying.
I gave up, and I had to leave him up there while I fought everything else down there, watching out for
That's so funny.
his beams, you know, to like highlight on me and shoot me, you know. So it seems like guns are powerful, but melee is a little bit easier to manage as far
more
as
traditional,
attacking.
right? More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know you just like swipe and do all of that
swiping, right.
stuff, but you can also miss. Sometimes your camera angle will mess you up with where you're hitting, because it always matters where you're looking as where you'll attack. So sometimes, you know, you might do a swing or a hit trying to get something that's to the left bottom of you while you're looking forward, and you might miss that attack or something like that, and you might lock onto it and attack. So the combat is kind of a little iffy like that, you know what I mean? I wish that I see why they did what they did, because you're dealing with melee, you're dealing with using your gun, but at the same time you're also using an ability. So they want you to use your left trigger to pull up your second ability window, and then use your buttons that you would normally press for your abilities, and that takes away from your aiming to use, you know, like some type of a focused aim and be precise with your shots. So you know that's there. I'm trying to think. When you're looking at the crafts window and all of that stuff that's there, there's a lot to look at. When you start collecting pieces, you're kind of like, what do I do with this? And then you're like, oh, I can go in here and I can start making stuff, but you can't really make stuff because you don't have the scrap resources. So it's like you have items, and then you need trash resources to put the items together. So if you don't have enough wood, you can't attach that barrel to the stock or something like that. So it's kind of like, you know, you have like a lot of things that you got to collect. You might find like all of this like legendary, awesome, superb items, but you cannot connect them until you have the resources to be able to put them together, you know, like the tape or whatever
I don't like that
type of stuff.
Do just fully intact things fall?
Huh?
Do fully intact items fall? Or
Every
is
now and
everything
again.
built?
Every now and again, full items will fall. A lot of times you'll go into an area and you'll be searching, and then there might be like a case or something like that, and then you smash the glass and you pull the gun out. It's a full intact gun.
Let's see.
And then you can modify the gun, but you would have to have the
parts,
resources to
right.
be able to modify that gun.
Right.
So there's different things that you can find, like towers of resources, which I thought was actually going to be a tower of resources. It's like 2 or 3 pieces. So you could bust down a big ass tower of wooden planks and only get 2 wooden planks in it.
That's annoying,
So
dude.
different things like that. Okay, so I'll kind of go into some of the things that I dislike about it. And if I come up with some things that I like
Well, you kind of
about
already
it,
touched
then
on
I'll
it. The
come in.
shooting you dislike.
Yeah, so the shooting I disliked, but one of the things that was most annoying, but that I kind of liked, is the narrator. All right, so when you talk to people, they just blah 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 or whatever type shit,
Like Civ.
and then you have the narrator after them to tell you what they said, and he says or he thinks blah 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 or whatever.
So it's like
or
you have to listen to
he
two
knows,
things?
so you have to listen to 2 things.
It's annoying.
That's really annoying.
That's weird.
I wish that it was just him going and then the narrator talking right over him. So
Right.
but
like
I
it's
have
dimmed,
to.
like the sound is dim.
Yeah.
And
It's
you hear the
light,
gibberish,
and you
but
hear
you're
the gibberish, but you
listening,
hear the
right.
dude talking. Yeah, I have to listen to the gibberish or skip the gibberish and then go to he said blah blah blah, or
Or
he
skip
thinks
him.
whatever, or
Like
and
you're
skip
double-
him
just
by accident sometimes because you click the button too quick. It might skip what he
Right.
said or whatever. So that makes it drawn out.
putting you to
Another
sleep, right?
thing, another thing that I dislike is that when you're walking around, every little thing or person goes to a cutscene. If you can talk to everybody in the game, that's cool. You know, the narrator will literally tell you what the guy is saying or whatever, but it's always a cutscene. I see a fisherman. I'll go to him and interact. He said that this world is crumbling slowly, but it's a cutscene. You know what I mean? Like I can't move or anything. It's not like a on the run.
Right. I know
The
what you're talking
narrator's
about.
just talking
Right.
in the
A little speech
background
bubble
or
pops
whatever.
up or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you don't want to talk to anybody unless
that
you
makes
have
you
to.
avoid people. Yeah.
Well, when you begin it, when you start it, everything, like every area that you're going in, you're seeing something new, a cutscene. So it's like you walk into the area, cutscene, it pans in, shows you what's there. Dudes drop in from the ceiling, they looking around, then pan back, and then you're able to go and fight them. After you fight them, boom, some dude comes out in the wheelchair. It's a cutscene on him. Then every time it's a cutscene. When you walk out, it's a cutscene to see the world. It's so many cutscenes. It cuts you out of the immersion.
Absolutely.
And it's like, damn, like I don't want the cutscenes. Like if I gotta talk to you, like it's cool, you know what I mean? The things
that
popping
sounds
up,
like-
but it's because of the having to listen to the gibberish.
Absolutely.
And then the narrator that totally
and it's a
blows it
cutscene,
for
all
me.
that.
And the
That
cutscene,
sounds
it's the whole
like
combo.
like something like if I made my own personal game for me and I really loved my game and I enjoyed talking to all my characters because I made it and I wrote it and I want all that,
Yeah.
I would enjoy that. It feels like the creators, the devs were like making a game that was theirs. They loved it. They enjoyed it, but they weren't thinking about the gamer, the guy who's just coming in to play it.
Yeah.
And that happens quite a bit, man, where I don't think the developers put themselves in the gamer's shoe enough. Because it's like, while you may love your world and while you may love your characters, like, I'm just trying to play and I'm just trying to get through this content so I can get back out there and fight more.
Yeah, I love the fact that you can sit there and talk to everybody. And sometimes you can talk to people and they might have information on where you can find something. But then you have to go through the blah, blah, blah. And then the narrator says what he said. And then you have options pop up. And they're not straightforward like, you know, this is the one that you pick to get the fuck out of the convo. It's this one. It's this one over here is another question. And that one is a possible
get to
question.
the end, you have to
and
get
then
through
this
these
one
things,
is
huh?
another response. And so you don't
Oh,
know.
man.
You could pick the wrong one thinking it's the way out, and then there's some more shit that's getting said. And you're like, damn, I just wanted to go over here. Like,
So let me
bro,
get this straight.
let me out of this.
For non-essential NPCs, it's just a cutscene for every NPC.
It's a cutscene for everything.
That's
Yes.
crazy. Because I could
Cutscene.
understand.
Yeah,
I could understand from the main story. Sure, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
we need to know what's happening in this game.
Right.
Yeah.
But if there's just if you find a dog running around and you go to pet
You'll
the
get a
dog,
cutscene
and
for
there's
the
a
dog.
cutscene for the dog. That's kind of like
That's
I didn't need this.
absurd.
Yeah, like there's
That's
people.
why I said it looks like the guy he developed the game loved his world enough that might be fun for you, but is that fun for the average gamer?
Like I said, I'm okay with interacting, but like give me what the narrator, let the narrator talk as I continue moving. If he didn't have anything like valuable for me, just let him talk as I run away
absolutely.
from him. You know, then that's like
Absolutely.
I don't have to hear
That's
you.
normal in games.
Or like if it pops up with the options, just give me the option
That's
to
standard.
walk so I can walk away.
That's standard, yeah.
Right.
In all
So
games.
I mean, so that's there. That was like one of my biggest gripes.
Dude, I didn't really even like it in like Persona 5 when occasionally it cut. You know, I rather just like, because sometimes you might press Y to like listen to a conversation or
Right.
eavesdrop
And
or
it's a
whatever.
cutscene or something,
But
yeah.
sometimes you actually had to sit through the cutscene and like sit through it. It's like, dude, I'm trying to find this person or whatever. I don't need this cutscene.
Right.
It didn't happen very often, but even when it was occasional, I hated it.
Just kind of cuts you out.
Yeah,
of what
just
you
cuts
were
you out
doing.
of what
Yeah,
you're
you have
doing.
to stop,
Yeah,
pause,
exactly.
and listen to that. Yeah. So, you know, so that was one of the bigger things for me. You know, like
I
we
guess
said,
it's
the story.
avoidable.
yeah.
I guess you can kind of avoid it.
You can only avoid the maximum. You know what I mean? Like talking to everybody. You don't have to talk
Just
to
don't
everybody.
talk to
But
anybody.
as you progress through it, like every little thing that you do, like, okay, you find your first mount. You walk near it because you're like, what's that? You walk near a cutscene. because you got to see. Oh, there's a majestic scribble.
Dude, I
out
heard
here
there's a
or
really
whatever.
bad time to shoot in this game. Where like there's these big gaps between time to shoot. Like there's too much time being spent between shooting.
without attacking.
Yeah, without doing something fun, fighting or whatever.
There is quite a bit where you're
and like
just
the
running
beginning's
around
really
and
long
looking.
too.
Yeah, like I said, before we had started or whatever, I was a little tired. So when I started this, I was like, you know what, I could take a nap, but I'm just gonna play the game because I want to get as much time with this before the pod, so that I can be able to give more
Right.
time. And the opening stuff was making me drowsy. Like I was starting to
That's
fall
what I
asleep.
heard.
I had to grab some coffee or something to snack
Yeah.
on, just to kind of bring my brain back up
Right.
to start, so that
Right.
I could
Take a-
power
take a
through it
quick
and
nap
get
really quick.
into the game. You know.
Take a quick 20-minute nap.
So it's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's like little loot boxes and stuff, and all of the little areas that makes you want to search those areas. The quests kind of turn out to be really long just because you have to listen to the people as you're getting the
That's such a
quest for
shame,
all the
man.
stuff, and then when
That's such a
when you
shame.
go on it. But there's like, once you start talking to a bunch of the people and you start getting things, there's a lot of icons that pop up all over the map. You basically have to follow the directions of the main quests for the most part, like when you first start off, because you got to talk to like this guy named Gloop to be able to get like a vehicle that can ride on water to help you traverse through some extra areas. It's not necessary really, but also like I chose to go completely dark, so there's certain
Right.
things that I have to do, like going through the main storyline. Like I can't, like my objective is basically to take over all of the tribe's territories.
Right.
So I can't start off with the main one. I gotta go to the furthest one or whatever, and I gotta work. Once I defeat that one, then another one will pop up. I can defeat that one and then that one, and then I can go to the main one, because I've tried, and you can literally walk up to the gate. Once they knew that I was factioned with the other tribe, they wouldn't let me in the gate. Okay, cool. I'll get into the gate. There's no way to attack the gate because the gate's not open or anything like that. So I tried to hop on top of the building, and I managed to make my way up to the top, but there's like this invisible black wall that comes up, and you just pressing against it. And you can't get through
So
it.
you have to follow.
So
the
you
cutscene
have
or
to
whatever.
follow the pathway of getting all of the different
see.
other ones to get to the main one, and then you can finally
I
get
see.
in there and whatnot. So, it's definitely a
You
game
had to pick
that,
your stats at the very beginning, right?
yeah,
How did you feel about that? When I saw that, I was like, well, I don't know what I would want.
yeah.
Why are they
you
having me
don't-
select this? I don't know what I want.
You don't know what you want. You kind of get an idea, but there's also not a lot of versatility in how you look, which I thought there was. It's more so about the type of stats that you pick is what you look like. So if you wanted to go more intellect and luck or something like that, or intellect and agility, you're gonna look like pretty much the
Thin,
same. There's like
right,
5
yeah,
different
agile
looks.
looking thing.
You either got a big ass head, a small head, or different little head. You know what I mean? But those heads, there's only 5 heads. So regardless of where you're looking at on
okay.
your little chart,
I
you're gonna
see.
have the same head. And then there's only a couple of options that you get with your different fur.
Right.
And then some of the colors, I could have sworn that the colors were way more vibrant and like neon when we were looking at like the early footages of it and stuff, but it doesn't seem as neon and vibrant playing on the Xbox version or whatever. I did decide to get the Xbox version because it had the 4K 60. I know I said I was gonna wait on it, but I was like, you know what, we're not playing no new games. I need to go ahead and buy this and play it, whatnot. So right now it's kind of like, oh, the puzzles. There's puzzles in the game, and they're very like randomly dispersed. You know, they're not like, it's not like a whole lot of required puzzles. You know, there are some when you get into your main missions or whatever that you're doing, but the puzzles are like playing Among Us.
What?
So like, as easy as like swipe the card
Yeah.
slowly, not too fast, or put
Just
the
press the
little
thing to
put the
empty the
little
trash out?
strings to match up the colors or whatever.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like you'll have like, a faucet that's clogged. You got to open it up. So you got like a white dot at the top. Your handle has a white and a yellow dot on it, and then you got a yellow dot at the bottom. And so you just gotta click the handles to make them all match. Like if the white is at the top, it gotta match the white to get to the yellow that's on the other side of the thing to get to the yellow, to the white to get to the yellow.
Puzzle solved.
And then it's it. So you might take like 2-3 clicks. You might take one move to get it. Your puzzles, the amount of moves that you have on your puzzle is based upon your intellect. I didn't know that until I was actually in the game, so it's a good thing that I went full intellect and agility, because I was like, well, if guns is the shit, I'm gonna just focus.
That's what I'm trying to say. You don't know what you want. I'm like, okay, I'll pick this, I guess.
Yeah, and you have like your different ones. Like you could go like for full like melee or whatever, guns, dual wielding, whatever type stuff. So but yeah, so I like want to play it because I liked exploring the areas and whatnot and doing that. But yeah, when you're getting to like fighting and stuff, it's like you realize like depending upon the weapon you have, like you get, so because of the route I was going, I was defeating tribes, and when you defeated the tribes, you got special weapons. So like you would get like their weapon. So once I defeated the full tribe, I got like a special boomerang or something like that. So the tribe weapons are actually the most powerful weapons that I've been able to find. I can't even create some shit that's as good as those. You know what I mean? They just,
so that's encouraging you to want to go get to tribes then.
Right, to defeat the tribes because you're getting powerful weapons and stuff like that.
That's
but
cool. That's a cool hunt.
Yeah, but you would think that well, that's like one of my main missions. So you would think that me finding all the scraps and getting legendary shit and then being able to put that stuff together would produce a more powerful weapon than what I got from a tribe.
And make you want to find more things to produce powerful weapons, but then they lock you behind that.
Yeah, so the only benefit that I have with getting like a weapon that I put together, scrounged together, than using the boomerang is that I'm able to shoot more shots and hit more people. Like the boomerang, I throw it and it hits good, but it's slow. I can't like kind of like spray into the crowd. You know what I mean? It's only on one hitter, and then it's got to come back to me. If I miss, then I got to wait for the boomerang to come back before I can use it.
Right.
And then
that
like
sucks.
Me using like a sword that's got ice on it. I might think, oh, that's wicked, but it's not as good as the staff that I got from the tribe. Because that shit just hits harder,
right?
You know what I mean. So it's like certain things, makes you want to craft
There's a little
more,
disconnect there,
and then not,
right, yeah.
But yeah, so so far right now, like I still do want to play it, but it's just like a lot of things that it's like, man, I kind of dread it a little bit, because of all the talking.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I get you, man.
And then it's
that would really drain me too.
Yeah, it's at the point right now where it's so daunting to sit there and talk and go through all of these different. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just skipping past everything. So it makes me not want to enjoy the story. You know,
if there was a really simple thing to fix, it seems like it's just a shame. Like they chose that, and their game could have been so much more enjoyable. Because it sounds like you're having a lot of fun fighting. You're having quite a bit of fun collecting some items. But what's killing it for you is the time to shoot. All the in between is too bulky.
Yeah, and
that seems like a really simple thing to not do.
Slow.
It's just a shame. Yeah. It's the same thing with like the Outriders. Like about Outriders all the time, but there's these little things that just, what a shame. It's like that seems like it's so simple, and your game could have been so much better had you just made these little tiny changes.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that the puzzles were a lot more difficult. I mean, my wife was watching me as I played, and she was like, "That's it." And I was like, I just looked at her like, man.
Puzzle solved.
Yeah, like it took nothing. There was no brain.
It's not the witness.
It's just turn the faucet.
Yeah, I mean, even like they had a thing where it was like light all three of the buttons green. It's 3 buttons. Like you just click. Oh, you got it. You know what I mean? I had like a thing where it was like a panel and it had a bunch of wires plugged in,
so funny,
and I had
dude.
a couple of X's, and then you have like 4 X's, and there's 6 X's that you gotta achieve. So there's some that got a bunch of X's, but they got negative X's on them and stuff like that. So you just gotta figure out which one. I looked at the one and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just unplug this and put it in there. I wasn't even paying attention to how many X's. I just moved that one to this one, and then boom, I got it. And it was like, oh, damn.
Okay.
Like, it literally took no thought into doing it.
Hey, on the box, it says it's E for everyone, right?
I don't even know. I have to look at the box.
Even my
but
toddler.
I think it might be E. And I am playing this on normal. But even looking at, like, the stuff, as far as, like, the difficulty goes, it wasn't really tough at all. It's more so like slow, just because like, oh, depending on the weapon that you're using, it may take a while to peck them down, but you've got like, you find a crap ton of health out there. So you're always able to heal and whatnot. I visited like one area where it was like highly radiated, but because you're progressing through the game and you don't really need to level up, I just had points stored. So I got to an area that was radiated, and I was like, "Ooh, shit! Like my radiation is going up, and once it hits 100, you're dead." So I was like, "Oh, I got points." So I just put all my points into radiation to give me a little bit, higher resistance, and then I was able to just be in there and do stuff. So it's a lot of like, just playing, and then like utilizing your upgrades and stuff like that when you need them. So it's like not worrying about it. That's how easy it is.
Damn.
so
So
funny,
I
man.
mean, I wanted to play it on normal because that's how the game originally defaulted,
Sure.
and you would think that's how you'd want to start. But I think probably harder may give more of
Right.
a challenge, but it also may make it stupid difficult and long for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Sounds like
I don't know
normal's
if that's
fine.
like the balance
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, so I am gonna continue playing, just to get through it more. It seems like you could probably speed through it fairly quick. I mean, just based upon my objective right now going dark, which is to let the world eaters kill the tree of life. I don't know how that's gonna go. And there's like a weird talent like, dark and light. And you can find different ways to build your light up or your dark up. There's like little things like that, but I've yet to see what use it is. For as far as going bad or good, you know what I mean? But I definitely see like a bit of repetitiveness in certain things.
Sure.
Like when you meet somebody, like you have a captive, you meet them, you kill everybody around them, and then you free them, and then they have like something that, hey, do you want to do
Preset
this
thing.
for me? Or
It's like
whatever,
Ghost, huh?
almost like a quest or something like that.
A preset thing every time.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I don't know what those are because I wasn't going light. I'm going dark. So I don't want to help you. You chose your own destiny. And then you go to a cutscene, and then you uppercut the guy, and then he just falls out, and I guess he's dead. Because that's all you see from
You
him.
just kill him right
again.
quick, huh? You
Yeah,
save
and
him
then
to
you get
kill
a
him.
dark point, and then that's
You
it.
save him to kill him.
Yeah, so it's kind of lackluster in the dark category. I don't know what it is in the light. I might try to do one in the light just so I can see what it's like. But
Can you give us an early ranking out of
an
10?
early ranking.
Yeah. I know it's shallow because you only been playing for a little bit, but so far.
Yeah, I'd say with like the 6 hours of gameplay that I'm in, it's definitely given me like probably like a 6.5.
So the Metacritic is about on target then, right? Because I think it's in the
I would
high
say-
60s.
Yeah, I would say it's like, okay, it's decent. You know what I mean? Like there's something there that entices me to play it a little bit, but if I fell off and stopped playing it, I wouldn't be itching, to get back to it.
Yeah, actually,
what I
I
mean?
think Metacritic's dead on with Returnal too.
Oh yeah.
About an 86. I think like if they made some of the changes that I wanted to happen, I would have rated it higher. Like if this was more Dark Souls like than roguelike, then to me
Higher up on the
9.5 could be really high.
Damn.
It's that pretty awesome, but those things really bring it down in my book. So
Yeah, I'd say if they just did something with the narration and the gibberish talk and like making everything a cutscene, like everything does not need to be a cutscene.
that's crazy. That would really help the score, right? It
Yeah.
goes from like a 6.5 to 7.5.
It would just help
or
it
8.
move a little bit
Yeah.
smoother. You know what I mean? I feel like there's too much stop and look. You know what I mean? And I think there's a way that you can cut the gibberish completely off. You can also cut the narrator completely off. I just don't know what that will entail. I don't know if that just means I gotta read more, or if like I don't hear them talk, I just hear what the narrator says.
Mhm.
So I guess I gotta mess with it a little bit and see what it gives me. But maybe there's some stats I can mess with to make it a little bit more enjoyable. Kind of like how Outriders, but you know how I told you the scenes where like
Right.
Shaky Jake was holding the camera,
Yeah, that
and
motion
you
blur
could just
setting or
smooth
whatever.
it
yeah.
out, and then all of a sudden it's not as shaky. So
Yeah.
it makes it a lot more enjoyable to sit through that. But yeah, so that's all for what we've been playing this week. I know that's long, sorry, but going on to the quick